So I have a chip on my shoulder. You're gonna hear about it. Anytime anybody mentions millennial gray, the interior design sensibilities associated with the millennial generation, my generation, I always get the ick. It is to my belief that millennials have been unfairly saddled with a brand of millennial gray. Like we're the ones responsible for bringing this sad dystopian design style to popularity. It's like infested a lot of gentrified apartments and everything. But I do not believe millennials are responsible for this. I mean, some may be responsible for it, but I do not believe that all millennials are responsible for this. And I want to clear their name. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about millennial gray. You should just take out the millennial, okay? You should just cross out the millennial and just call it corporate gray. That's what it really is. My generation has been unfairly saddled with this label. I am a millennial. All my friends are millennials. Nobody lives in gray. Well, one person lives in gray, but it's not by choice. She is a victim of circumstance. So, without further ado, are you a millennial who has been mocked and shamed for your interior design choices and your fashion choices? Have people been making fun of your socks? Have you been accused of stuffing your face full of avocado toast and that's why you can't afford real estate? Then you may be eligible for a class action lawsuit. Just subscribe to the offices of Teresa's Chaotic Corner. It's 1-800 Teresa's Chaotic Corner, or hit this button here or here somewhere. We're not accredited, by the way. My name is Teresa. I'm a millennial public defender and an interior design enthusiast. Let's talk about justice. Justice for my people. I get angry for you, and I will fight for you. I will fight for you.
Teresa got me a new pair of pants.
You know what really sticks in my craw? When anytime anybody mentions millennial gray, I just want to take that person and shake them, shake them one way or another. Let's cross out the millennial and let's just call it what it is. It's corporate gray. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen of the jury of public opinion, it is to my belief millennials have been unfairly saddled with the moniker millennial gray, unfairly saddled as being the creators, the originators of millennial gray. In actuality, they're the victims. They are the victims of this interior design style, forced to live in a gray, gentrified apartment with ugly vinyl floors, forced to live in the sad, stark, Spartan, dystopian prison of interior design and I guess architectural, let's use that term loosely, design that they are not the cause of. So today we're going to exonerate millennials from millennial gray. I know it's an uphill battle because every time I try to exonerate some millennials, even though I laid out my arguments so well, I've given a speech, okay? I'm not saying it's on par with the Gettysburg Address. I got to take out some F words for that. Somebody always comes in, disregards everything I've ever said, and declares, I hate millennials. And they're responsible for millennial gray. I'm bound to get some boos from those who loathe the millennials. But if you are a millennial out there, then I hope that this reaches you. Or if you're like Gen Z, who has always had it out for millennials, maybe this will open your eyes to see what the millennials had to go through first. And one day you will have to live in an ugly gray apartment as well, and then you'll know what we suffer. We suffered it first, and you'll suffer it more. So that's what we're gonna do here. I shudder to see what the comment section is gonna say, but somebody's got to speak up. Who better than yours truly? I'm a millennial public defender. I don't know how we got here, but I feel like I wouldn't have to defend millennials if people would just stop shitting on them. Just let us wear our little socks and live in our ugly gray apartments in peace. We're already so low as it is. Like, stop kicking us, okay? When I was at school and I saw somebody with a kick me sign pinned to their back, I would march up to them and I would take off the kick me sign because I don't like this. If somebody continues to kick them, then I will just have to kick back. I would have to grudgingly enter myself into this ass kicking contest I don't want to be in. I don't want to get kicked, but I will have to kick in order to stop somebody from kicking the shit out of Millennials, I would face off against these boomers for you. I could take them. They're senior citizens now. What are they gonna do to me? I have to go all the way to the back of my closet and find my millennial 2010 ankle boots. It's the kind that you go to the pumpkin patch with, you know? I'm gonna have to kick some ass. So having said all that, please don't challenge me to an actual ass kicking contest. Millennials were framed for an ugly interior design style that I am now going to exonerate them from. So what is millennial gray and why does everybody hate it so much? If you've ever toured an apartment or you've ever toured a house that a flipper got their hands on, these cheap vinyl floors, Swiss coffee walls, or maybe just gray walls, the neutral, non-offensive IKEA furniture or home goods furniture. Cheap furniture, the white kitchen, maybe the modern farmhouse kitchen. It's practically become the preset for a lot of new build apartments or a lot of landlord special renovations. I've seen many homes a house flipper has bought from the 70s, from the ranch style 50s, 60s homes. They tore out all the original details. They either painted over the kitchen cabinets, the real wood kitchen cabinets, or they replaced it with like a cheaper vinyl wood kitchen cabinet and they turned it into that. This is what my generation has been associated with. Exhibit A and Exhibit B. This is what my client has been accused of, that we are responsible for this. We are accused of living in this and liking it and influencing other people to renovate and decorate like this. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we didn't do it. Not guilty. My client, the millennials, my client is not responsible for any of this. In fact, we want to countersue. This is interior design defamation. We might have lived in it. Most of us, I would venture to say, most of us have lived in a room like that or have to be forced to put 20% down payment on a house like this that a flipper got their hands onto. Did we want it? Would we have preferred to live in a Victorian home or like a classic mid-century modern home? Yes, we would have. Who flipped it? Who watched Magnolia Homes and decided to flip this craftsman style house and turn it millennial gray? It wasn't us. So let's go to the evidence. I need my spatula. This is ladies and gentlemen of the jury, of which some of you are millennials, hopefully. Don't you think, in looking for some place to live, we would all love to live in the Home Alone house? If the Home Alone house came on the market, don't you think we would buy that up in a second? Don't you think we would love to live in a New York brownstone with all the historical features? Don't you think we would love some coffered ceilings? Don't you think you would buy that shit up if we could afford it? Don't you think we would love it for developers and builders to build houses with unique and quirky architectural details? Why don't we petition for builders to send their contractors to masonry school? Start chiseling up some freaking cherubs and put it on my house. Give me some goddamn gargoyles. Do you think we like living in a box? No, we do not. We do not like living in a box. Housing has become an investment vehicle. You know, back then people just owned one fucking house and the house prices have far outpaced income. If we are renting an apartment so we could be close to work and all the apartments that are available within your price range look like this, then why are we blamed for this interior design style? If the Home Alone house, for example, is way out of your price range, that style of house, and then this recently flipped millennial gray home used to be like a 1950s tract home, now flipped to look millennial gray to apparently appeal to millennials. I don't know if it really appeals to millennials. If that's available and it's in your price range, is my generation to be faulted for living in a place that they can afford, living within their means? Is that what they're being faulted for? If you look at some people living in some sad prison barracks, dressed in all gray, dystopian gray, and you're like, why can't you just live in somewhere more aesthetically pleasing, more colorful, with real wood and some gargoyles on the eaves? And it's like, who are you blaming here? You're blaming people who live in prison barracks for the state that they're living in? Like, they can't get out. They're the victims. You're victim blaming here. No more. Ow, the spatula really hurt. I will not have it. I need to calm down. We'll never make it through this trial. I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the first accusation that millennials chose this. They had no choice. Some of them might have chosen it. We will not speak of those people. Let's brush them under the rug. You're not helping my case here. Stop choosing it. That's probably the surprise witness for the prosecution. Most of us didn't choose it. Most of us had to just bear it. We didn't choose to live here. Some of us have to live here because it's the supply that's available during the 2008 recession. That's all people were building. And speaking of the 2008 recession, the event that screwed my generation, millennials born 1981 through 1996, were any of us taking out subprime mortgages at variable interest rates during 2005, 2006, 2007? Some of us were in high school. Some of us were in college. Some of us were children. Were any of us financially solvent to take out a subprime variable mortgage? No, we weren't. No, we weren't. And now we pay for it. A lot of people got screwed during that time. The youth, those of us graduating college or not even in college yet, most of us were not even old enough to rent a car. We got left holding the bag. You try getting a job as a new grad around 2008 through 2010. If you were lucky enough to get a job, it was probably a low paying job. It probably wasn't even worth your college degree to get this job while you were in the job market with a bunch of other people who were laid off. Were we to blame for the collapse of the economy that we were not old enough to participate in? No, we were not. If after 2008 and all these houses went into short sales, foreclosures, if flippers came in and started flipping them and turning them into millennial gray, we were not even old enough to flip. Most of us were not even old enough or have the financial capital to flip these freaking houses that now infest the market that we now live in. Although I do concede to the prosecution that as the years go on, if millennials have taken the mantle of creating more millennial gray apartments or building more millennial gray apartments and flipping more homes to look millennial gray, then I can't defend some of my generation there. But I do have to point out that generational trauma is real. Generational trauma is real. And that pertains to design trauma as well. How can people who's only lived in gray ever know light? I can't defend those who take on the mantle of designing more ugly stuff, but I see where you come from. If somebody has lived most of their young adult lives in a gray dystopian box, how can you expect them to break out of the box? Not everybody thinks outside of the box. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Do you see what I'm getting at here? The court will now break for lunch. I just want to go on the record to say that I am not eating any avocado toast. I got another bone to pick about that. So if I don't end up ranting about avocado toast, please remind me to rant about avocado toast. I'm going to eat some soup dumplings. That's what I'm going to eat. How many exhibits have we had? We've already done Exhibit A. Exhibit B, consider the Tuscan kitchen. Just look at it. Consider it. Millennials want to steer as far away from this Tuscan kitchen or the Tuscany look as possible because all throughout the early 2000s, while we were children, teenagers, we saw this kitchen. Well, I personally didn't see this kitchen. My kitchen growing up was one messed up kitchen, but I'm sure some of you saw these kitchens. This kitchen came out of a McMansion after the 2008 recession. That kitchen has become the symbol of excess, of the past mistakes of your elders. Is it so wrong to want to distance yourself or learn from the mistakes of your elders? To not fall into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses, of needing all the works, of needing like a fruit cornucopia or like some plastered grapes, to therein be drawn to something smaller, simpler, something that doesn't cost you that much money. And that's how you arrive at the minimal millennial gray kitchen. It is not a crime to want to distance yourself from the excesses of previous generations, from the financial mistakes of others, to not be beholden to keep up with the Joneses and live in a McMansion that you can't afford, to have a kitchen or like bedroom set or something with all the trimmings that you can't afford, and go for something simpler, more Spartan, a micro apartment, a minimalist apartment, embracing minimalism in many ways. Why are you on trial for this? Why is it so wrong for somebody who wants to be frugal, who sees the mistakes of previous generation and say, I don't want to make the same financial mistakes. I'm going to change my lifestyle. Why is my generation on trial for this? Not guilty. Not guilty. And speaking of which, we decorated in more than just gray. Need I point to you, for better or for worse, Exhibit C, the Millennial Arch. This is not gray, as you can see here. It is burnt sienna. Need I remind you of the mid-century modern revival? It's not gray. Mid-century modern is primarily, especially the revival version of mid-century modern, primarily primary colors. The millennial pink velvet couch or the pink and green color combination, the tropical wallpapers. There's plenty of evidence that suggests that millennials don't even like gray. All the neon signs, the Instagram wall, my God, the evidence is overwhelming. We have greens, we have pinks, we have primary colors, we have burnt sienna, not a touch of gray, not a touch of gray in sight. And yet, my client has been accused of living in a dystopian room. Not guilty. Do you think any of those Brooklyn lumberjacks with their red buffalo check flannel shirts decorated in gray, do you think he was living in a millennial gray apartment? I think not. The twee girlfriend with her cat socks, I think she went thrifting in Williamsburg and owns a Vitrola. They were living in the 1880s. You know, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this is a classic example of hating the players, but not hating the game. Well, you always have a choice of where you live. Sometimes you have to make concessions. Sometimes you have to make design concessions for location and proximity to your job or for your kids' school. You can't have everything. If given the choice, we would not be living where we are. If you could live in a beautiful historic home that's like an hour's commute away from your job, or you can live in this new build millennial gray apartment that's like a 5-minute walk away, what do you choose? A lot of people don't have the luxury of having remote work. You can say like, oh, jobs are remote after 2020. Not necessarily. They were remote. But a lot of employers are now calling the ships back to port. Sometimes you have to make concessions. Sometimes you have to forego curb appeal or like architectural details in order to live someplace that's in your budget or you can afford or that's close to your job. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, when the first millennial moved in to their sad gray apartment with their cheap vinyl floors, they didn't go, I like this. I'm going to start a trend. I doubt anybody liked it. They just had to make do with it. And now they're getting blamed for it as a scapegoat to a design style or a build style that's just easy to mass produce in economies of scale. They're scapegoats to corporate gray. So now the only thing in your conscience you have to do, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, exonerate them. Not guilty is the only option we could go for here. They know not what they do. They lived in this sad dystopian world long enough. We have all the evidence here to set them free. Let them go, guys. Get them out of jail. They tried to make the best of a tough situation by drawing this burnt sienna arch on the wall. It just makes me so sad just thinking about it. This is an act of desperation. Somebody trying to break free. What were they trying to do when they drew this arch on the wall? Like draw a portal to another world where they could live in the Home Alone house? I think that's what they're trying to do. And you know it. You know it. You see desperation. And now they've been incarcerated in the court of public opinion for crimes against interior design. This is injustice of the 10th degree. This is injustice like I've never seen it. All the evidence has been laid out for you. Millennials did not traffic in gray. Well, some of them did. I don't even think they're really millennials. We are not averse to color. We embrace color. So the only thing you must do to restore justice, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have to exonerate millennials from this heinous charge. Let them go. Let my people go. I rest my case. Okay, guys, we have a verdict. I don't really have a great track record with winning cases for millennials. I don't know why they continue to hire me. I guess just as they drew this arch, they're desperate. Before I open this, I would just like to say I'm kind of sick of losing cases. It's an uphill battle. The cards are stacked against my generation. I always hope that one day we will find justice, that the jury will see the light, the public will see the light, and we will claim what is ours, and we will find justice. So here goes nothing. This is well, this really sucks. Well, the news isn't good. I feel like I wasted my breath, to be honest. I plan to appeal. That's what I'm doing. I plan to appeal. There was no justice in this courtroom today. And one day, as I hold this spatula in my hand, the spatula of justice, one day I hope to find justice for my generation. And one day I will win a case. But for now, I remain your friendly maybe not that friendly. Millennial public defender. What a thankless job. Let's address the topic of avocado toast here. I'm sick of hearing about avocado toast. It's been 10 years of boomers accusing millennials wasting our money on avocado toast, and that is why we can't afford a home or the type of lifestyle that they had. Even now, I still hear it. They're 10 years behind. Avocado toast is over. Avocado as a brunch trend is over. I don't even like avocado toast. I don't like avocados. I have never, in the 10 years that it was popular to eat avocado toast, I have never consumed any avocado toast. To accuse my generation of wasting all their money on avocado toast is just complete defamation. Show me a millennial that eats avocado toast every single day for breakfast. I doubt one exists. If they were eating avocado toast, they were probably eating avocado toast for like a brunch with friends, like a once in a month or once in a week kind of thing. It's not like every single day. Does avocados just grow on trees? Well, where I live, avocados do grow on trees. Treat yourself culture when it applies to millennials. Their avocado toast, their expensive coffees. You don't think boomers know how to treat themselves? Boomers treat themselves just fine. While we're being accused of shoving avocado toast in our face every single day, I've seen them order a Grand Slam breakfast from Denny's. I'm sure when they were indulging in their Denny's Grand Slam breakfast, I've seen you guys go in there, give me that Grand Slam breakfast. Their parents were probably horrified. Back in my day, we used to fry dough for our subsistence. Boomers know how to treat themselves just fine.